On July 29, 1958, the United States, under the leadership of the then president, established guidelines for studying the problems associated with flight within and beyond the Earth's atmosphere. This initiative led to the formation of NASA, the world's preeminent space. To understand NASA's origins, we must look back to an earlier time, 43 years before its founding, when an aeronautical advisory committee was formed in the United States. Known as NACA, this committee's role at the time was to oversee aviation research. During World War I, NACA was tasked with enhancing military aircraft. However, their responsibilities extended beyond this. They also developed aerodynamic components, conducted airplane tests, and researched fuel optimization for aircraft during the war. The dissolution of a committee that was making significant progress is puzzling. The roots of this outcome trace back to the late 1940s, with Germany leading the way. Germany's success in developing swift and potent aircraft prompted the NACA committee to embark on the construction of faster planes. The establishment of the NACA Energy Laboratory in the early 1940s expedited the process, providing substantial assistance to the American military during the Second World War. Generally, the NACA committee was advancing daily, notably achieving the construction of aircraft that could near the edge of space. However, the chapter of history that led to the cessation of NACA's activities is particularly significant. In the 1960s, as the Soviet Union launched a space satellite beyond Earth's atmosphere, America had to intensify its focus on space projects to keep pace with the Soviet Union. Consequently, NASA was established, and NACA was gradually phased out. The abbreviated name of the organization is NASA, which stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It is an independent agency of the executive branch of the U.S. federal government, tasked with overseeing the nation's civilian space program, as well as aeronautics and aerospace research, succeeding the NACA committee. Now that we have explored NASA's history, it is undoubtedly time to delve into the most significant projects throughout NASA's 60-year legacy. Project Mercury. Project Mercury was the inaugural human spaceflight program of America, initiated in 1958 and culminating in 1963. Its mission was to orbit the first human around Earth and ensure his safe return. The project utilized Atlas missiles, which underwent rigorous testing. However, several failed, exploding shortly after liftoff. NASA engineers were tasked with confirming the reliability of these rockets before attempting manned flights. Following a series of successful unmanned launches, the rockets were deemed ready for orbital missions. The nuclear warheads were replaced with a capsule designed to house an astronaut. With preparations complete for the historic human spaceflight, NASA engineers conducted one final test before the momentous manned launch. Doctors were concerned that even if the rocket functioned correctly and did not explode, the conditions of weightlessness outside Earth's atmosphere could be extremely hazardous for astronauts. Consequently, NASA engineers opted to first send a chimpanzee beyond the atmosphere to assess the impact of weightlessness on its health. The test proceeded smoothly, and the chimpanzee was safely retrieved. However, this delay in human spaceflight allowed their competitor to gain the lead. On April 12, 1961, before NASA could launch the first American astronaut, the Soviet Union successfully sent Yuri Gagarin into Earth's orbit, surpassing America in the race to the edge of space. Even though NASA launched its first astronaut just under a month after Gagarin's momentous journey, they were deemed to have lost this particular space race. Project Pioneer. Under the banner of Project Pioneer, NASA launched a series of unmanned space missions aimed at interplanetary exploration. Initially focused on the inner planets, the most significant missions, Pioneer 10 and 11, ventured towards the outer solar system. As they flew by Jupiter and Saturn, they beamed back Earth's first close-up images of these planets. These probes eventually crossed the solar system's boundary and ventured into the expanse of space. Aboard these spacecraft, NASA engineers included a golden plaque engraved with the images of a man and a woman. along with details about the spacecraft's creators, intended to communicate with any extraterrestrial life that might encounter them. Project Voyager. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 are NASA probes launched to study the planets of our solar system, with a primary focus on Saturn and Jupiter. The information collected from the gas giants and their moons by these probes has greatly enhanced planetary scientists' understanding of these celestial entities. Collectively, Voyagers 1 and 2 have identified 24 new moons around the gas planets. Notably, Voyager 2 was launched before Voyager 1, but Voyager 1 reached its destinations earlier due to its flight path, resulting in a naming sequence that does not match their launch sequence. Both probes have since left the solar system and are traversing interstellar space, embodying the hope that they may eventually be discovered by alien life. The esteemed American astronomer Carl Sagan assembled a disk housed within Voyager 1, which holds details of Earth's location, greetings in multiple languages, and an assortment of Earth's natural sounds and music, serving as a message to any extraterrestrial beings that might find it. Hubble Space Telescope. By the end of the 20th century, remarkable progress had been made in the fields of astronomy and cosmology. A network of powerful observatories had been established worldwide, and the expansive sky was meticulously charted. However, astronomers needed more to advance their research. They aimed to explore parts of the universe that were not visible from Earth. The idea of a space telescope had been suggested well before, and although prototypes were constructed, it was the launch of the Hubble Space Telescope into Earth's orbit that allowed us to observe previously misunderstood regions of the universe. Hubble has answered numerous scientific questions and accurately measured the distance between stars. In its operation of over 25 years, it has taken exceptionally high-quality images of celestial bodies, sending back approximately 15 gigabytes of data to Earth each day. Importantly, the Hubble Space Telescope was designed for repairs in space and has been serviced 5 times to date, significantly improving its capabilities. And let's get to the most famous NASA project, which almost everyone has heard of, Project Apollo. NASA's most renowned endeavor in its history is the Lunar Landing Project. Amidst the intense space race with the Soviet Union, and after the US lagged in sending the first man into space, the remaining challenge to win the space race was the lunar conquest. Following the launch of the first American into space, President John F. Kennedy declared an ambitious goal to land the first man on the moon before the 1960s ended. To fulfill this objective, NASA initiated the Apollo program, comprising 17 missions. Some orbited Earth, others the moon, and 6 included lunar landings. During the Apollo 11 mission, a human touched the moon's surface for the first time. Throughout the Apollo missions, 12 men walked on the moon, and since the program's conclusion in 1972, no one has returned. Now, let's discuss NASA's most ambitious project, one that has been a staple of Hollywood films for years and a topic of discussion among the world's space enthusiasts and experts. This project is the much-lauded human mission to Mars. Previously, NASA achieved the milestone of human footsteps on the moon, which was met with global support. However, for several years now, NASA has been contemplating whether humans could inhabit other planets soon, or even permanently relocate to Mars. According to NASA, the estimated cost of sending humans to the Red Planet is around $500 billion, but the actual expenses are likely to be higher. The journey to Mars presents numerous challenges, and it could be argued that NASA is still addressing the initial hurdles of the project. However, it might be said that NASA's paramount concern is not merely launching astronauts in rockets. The agency is committed to ensuring the safe return of those it sends to Mars. Among NASA's uncertainties and worries is the amount of radiation astronauts will encounter on the Red Planet and the potential impacts on their health during the voyage. Setting aside the health aspects of astronauts, NASA is developing specialized garments that facilitate communication for astronauts and simplify basic tasks. These tasks include extended walks, waste disposal, and an advanced method of hydrating the astronaut's body. Discussions have emerged regarding the weight of a particular dress, yet it cannot be confirmed as entirely accurate or endorsed by NASA. Reports have circulated claiming the dress weighs 45 kg. Moreover, it is purported to possess an unusual characteristic. Some sources suggest that this innovative attire necessitates merely 10% of the wearer's energy and strength to move. While other news has surfaced on various websites, the reliability and veracity of these reports are questionable, leading to the decision not to disseminate this information further.